Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. So we are now heading to the last week of February. So for those of you who are in a zone 6A or B, so this is the time that you are going to plant your peppers. For those of beginner gardeners who don't know where to start, so the first thing you would need to know is when is your last frost date. So you could actually find it at Google. That's how I learned. And also from the West Coast seed company as well on their website. I think it's under the resources. You can search on what zone you are in according to your province or area. The thing about the West Coast is they do actually have the planting chart according to your region. So this is what it's gonna look like. I don't know if you can see it. So that's what it is. And they did update this year as well, because before they don't even have, like for me, I'm in the southern Ontario, they didn't even put a Toronto, but this year they did add quite a lot. And I did notice the one at South Prairie as well. They did quite a bit of like more in detail for your location. So what's in the chart is like the vegetable. They do have a flowers and herbs as well. So what this chart does has like a vegetable right in here, and then the month, and then you will see there's like a legend says start indoor if it's like a dot, and a straight line if it's you need to direct sow, you need to cover or transplant, and then transplant and cover. So there's like on top, there's like a little legend in here, and then in here you'll see all the list of the vegetable and the month that you are going to start and how are you going to start. So it's just like a perfect way to make your life easier. Like you don't need to scramble around like, oh my god, what vegetable I need to plant, or what herbs that I need to plant for this month, when am I going to start. And also on your seed packaging as well, you will see at the back, you will that indicates this one, start indoor bright light 8 to 12 weeks before your last frost date. So that's in here. Don't disregard the back, at the back of your seed packaging, because that's where the instruction is. So as long as you know your last frost date, look at the back, check the instruction, when are you going to start. So what it is your last frost date. For me, say in my area it says April 21st. That will be a last frost date. Take a little note on that, that this is not gonna be your exact date. This is estimated date according to way back of the history from like the weather. So it could be on or before or after that indicated date. So you gotta look. So once it says here like 8 to 12 weeks, so from your last first frost date, you're gonna count backwards, and that's the time or date that you are going to plant your, or you're going to start your seeds indoor. But make my life easier, I always have like this catalog, keep it handy. And also to keep my life way more easier, so this stays in my living room just to keep checking, keep looking the plants or herbs or vegetable or any flowers that I want to plant, if it's right time for me to start indoor. And also I did print this out. This is from last year. I have to put or add for update at the bottom my last frost date for this year. This is just, I just printed out. They do have a PDX as well that you can print out this in their website. So I just print it out and laminate it, and this stays here in my grow room. All right, so now that you know the timing, when you're going to start indoors, so let's get to it. But beforehand, take a note again that the timing is really important. The reason why, if you're gonna start early, then poor plant, you're gonna get a root bound, and you're gonna have to repot it in a bigger pot. So it will be like more money for you, more soil, because you need more soil, and you need to have a bigger pot for it. So timing is really, really important. Okay, so let's get to it. So for here, I'm gonna use this so for this pepper, I'm gonna use this 72 cell that I got from last year. So I'm just gonna reuse. um quite honest, it's not really as sturdy as I thought it would be. I forgot where I bought it, because right now they're like ripping apart, and I'm hoping it will last long. All right, so for my pepper plant, I'm gonna use, why I keep like, maybe I should put it this way. Sorry, my bin is not that big enough for this project. So I used the 72 cell. This is from last year. I just reuse it and hoping that I can still use it for many more years, but I don't think so, because right now they are ripping apart like on this side. Another way of using the potting soil is you put it in a bucket and put a water, and you mixed it. Because the thing with working with the dry potting soil, it really hard to absorb the water. It's gonna take a long time to absorb the water. What it is, it's because in the potting soil mix, it has a peat moss on it, so that makes it hard to absorb the water for the first time when you water. But don't panic, it feels like it's not absorbing anything. It's just completely normal that your water or your potting soil is not absorbing water. But like I said, it's gonna take time to absorb it. Alright, almost done, it's getting there. And also with the potting soil, if there's like a little twigs or branch like this, just toss it away. You don't need that. I have seen people actually sifted the soil just to make sure that you don't get this. It's totally fine. It's just I don't do that. It's extra work for me. So what I'm going to plant for today is my Hungarian wax from my garden. Let's put that in there. And this, I would like to thank the person who gave this to me. This is Aji Charapita. I don't know if I pronounce it right, but it's my coworker from work who gave me the seeds. Now I could finally can try this. So we're gonna put that in there. And also I do love the jerk chicken. So I'm finally gonna put or try to plant this year. And also, if I'm not crazy enough with the hot peppers, I have the Scotch bonnet. Oh, this packaging is so big. I already planted Asantaka, but this is from my garden from last year. And I already made a video about how I made this little packet of envelope. Check that out if you haven't watched it. It's really easy. So I am gonna put it right over there. So I still have 2 more left section. Oh, I forgot. So this I could not figure out what seeds this is. I'm not sure if this is the Italian sweet pepper. I know it's long thick and green, and it's not that hot. And it's good for, as a Filipino, we do have a sinigang, which is a soup base meat or fish, which is really really good. So I'm gonna try to plant for this year. So I did save the seeds from last year, but I haven't made any envelope yet. So that will be it. So that would be the pepper that I am going to plant, and now I'm going to show you how I put it or sow it. Alright, so after you prepare your soil, then it's now time to plant your pepper seeds. Pepper. So I do just one. I just drop one. The pepper seed is not that small, so I just drop one in each cell. But if you're not too sure if it's gonna germinate, you can put two, but you're just gonna separate them apart, like maybe one end and then the other one is on the other end of the cell. But I had a hard time from last year. I did that and they all germinate, and poor plant, I just couldn't afford to lose two of them. Like pick and choose which one is good. I just really have a hard time to pick and choose. So I end up like a lot of peppers. So now I just put like one seed per cell, just in case if maybe some did not germinate. That's okay, at least I know it did not germinate. I'm okay with it rather than having too many plants, and that I end up not having a space in my grow room as well. Alright, so before I forgot everything that I put, like mix up whatever I put in this section over here. So I do have the label. So this is like a residue or extra from last year. This is from Amazon. It's really good. It's plastic. I do have like from last year as well that has like a writing on it. I do save it as well, like reuse them for this year. I can tell my daughter was here. I don't know where my pen. Okay, here it is. So for here I do have the Hungarian hot wax, and I also put if it's from my garden, because at least I know that this particular plant is already adapt to my weather in here in my area. So I always put if it's from my garden, and I can always like save a seed again for next year garden. Alright, there you go. So that's about it. Maybe I should put it here so you guys can see it. There you go. And now this guy. Ooh, I'm actually surprised that there's a lot of seeds in one. Ooh, it the smell. Oh my god, I think I'm gonna sneeze. Ah! I think I inhaled all that pepper flakes. Now the Caribbean Red Hot. Actually not sure if this Caribbean Red Hot is the same as the red Scotch bonnet. because I know I do have a yellow and orange, but I never have a red Scotch bonnet. But it kind of like looks similar on the picture, so don't know. Let's find out. Let's go. So again, label, 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 label. All right, now that everything, I already put it on each cell, all the peppers that I want to plant for this year. What I do is I just like grab handful of soil and just like sprinkle it on top. Now all you need to do is water. So this bottle sprayer, I got it from Rona. I'm just gonna put it the link down below, how much they are. So you want to keep it moist. But not too wet. All right. So it might take a while now because I'm using a dry soil. It might take a while to like fully absorb that water. Like I said, the potting soil, it has peat moss on it, so it makes it hard for them to absorb the water. But if you don't want to wait, you could actually like mix the soil and the water right away before you put it in your soil in the cell plug. But if you're like me, you want to play along with the dry soil, just make sure that you're gonna water once more, like two times at least, to make sure that the soil suck in that water. And after that, you just need to keep the soil moist but not too wet. um, the reason why, from last year experience, I did my soil like too wet, and so I had this aphids problem and white fly, and they lay their eggs on the soil. So that's the reason why I would like to have, for this year, I switch it to a dry soil, working on the dry soil, rather than having this soil and then mix with water right away before I put it in here. So it's like a little experiment for me, one work for me best. But if it's work for you best, like to work on the soil mixed with water right away, that's totally fine. It's up to you. I mean, but this is how I garden, and I want to experiment for this year. I think it's ready for another round of watering. So I'm just gonna heat it again with water. Right, so it actually takes 7 to 12 days for them to germinate, and they do love heat, so I do have a heat mat. And also, to prevent for molding, I learned using this vermiculite finally. So the vermiculite, I got it from Canadian Tire. This is what it looks like. So what you need to do is just like sprinkle it on top, just to prevent those molds problem, and also hopefully those aphids and whitefly not laying eggs on my soil. That. I should probably not put my face close to this vermiculite. And dome in. Ooh, look at that. So I left the dome, keep it closed until they do sprout. And I'm just gonna give you an update after 7 to 10 days what they look like. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something for this video. If you're a beginner's gardener, don't be afraid, and also keep searching, and find a group in your area that you can ask. There will be giving you a lot of information. That's how I learned from the group, YouTube as well, and also book and searching from Google. Alright, so this is for my my video for today. I hope you do like the video, and please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Happy gardening. Bye.